So
Yeah.
one thing came up recently, and unfortunately Nathan and I weren't able to attend, was an expo that was ran and talked about AI. What have you been hearing about AI? And we've heard some whispers we'll bring up in a second. But what are you hearing from the bigger players that are using? Are they using AI? Are they doing tools with
How are they
AI?
using it?
And how
Yeah.
are they using it? It's,
Yeah, so I have a bias of, I trained large language models. I tried, what I always came up against in fintech is nobody really wanted to do the work to make it happen. They would start with a technology project and end with a room full of Indians, like doing the work and
Yeah.
and often lying to the client. These were things I found out not because I was told. So listen, there is limited use case for AI. There is, but it is not what everybody says that it is. And anybody that's trying to use it, like MIT, I think came out with that story and said, it's like 95% of people that are using it aren't seeing any productivity gains. And so as someone who played around with coding in my life before, you also know my biggest excitement on AI was around coding because I thought, oh, you could code something really quickly. The problem is, as a coder, you will look at the code and it won't be working, but then you have to figure out what did it do, and that takes
Mhm.
twice as long as if you had written the code. So how are people using it? I don't know that they really are. I think
I was
that,
more. We had a whole show
go
on it
ahead.
because I do a lot of coding. I was never a coder, except for back in the day in high school, and I use it just to code and do certain Python scripts and things like that on a daily basis. And for me to dive into code, I don't know what I'm looking at for the most part, but I'll say, here's my error in here. And I run about 15, 20 Python scripts a day on a repeated basis, which is great. But what I was curious about when it was brought up was using blockchain and AI tools with that. Have you heard anything about that from your level of blockchain being used to record mortgage documents and things like that?
Oh, they won't ever do it. I tried really, really hard. And then I finally met the person that put the kibosh on it in the industry because he worked for the largest technology provider in the industry. And he told them, if you use blockchain, you will put yourself out of business.
Mm. Hmm.
That is
So they
true.
Yeah,
don't want. Yeah,
and that's
I wanted to do it for Ginnie Mae repurchases. I wanted to do it for Ginnie Mae settlement. It would make so much
Yes,
sense
so
for
much easier.
recording mortgages, for all of that stuff. But and this is part of my thing, Dave. It's like, it helps individuals, sure, but
Sure.
the companies can't or won't adopt it
Yep.
for a variety of reasons.
That's
And that
true.
is
mm,
what I came up against
mm,
throughout my entire time in mortgage fintech. I was a believer, and I do still believe in certain aspects of the technology, but the industry either can't or won't, and a
So I
lot of
agree
it's
with you.
won't.
I think the red
Yeah,
tape is what's
yeah,
blocking a lot of it from
yeah.
progressing. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
yeah.
we can't do it. And even government in general, they're way behind at times. So I think that those who are using it are going to benefit from it tremendously. But those who are holding back from it,
Smartly. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
those holding back from it are going to fail. I mean, I think that's going to be the new upbringing that maybe these big companies are going to be passed by someone smaller because they're doing it. But the problem is you can't do recording documents if partials on a blockchain and some aren't. That's
Right.
frustrating,
And
right?
and and I think too, I think it's also though being used as a ruse, meaning that I don't necessarily, I think these companies are going to fail, not because they adopt AI. Like if we're talking about
Yeah.
mortgage specifically, it's not going to be whether they adopt AI. And in fact, I think the biggest adopter is probably going to fail. I think that we're using that as a smokescreen for an economy that has been really not great for most Americans for a very long time.
Mm,
And we're also looking at a model that needs to go away. Non-banks should not be lending. That just that there's they don't have deposits. They don't have deposits. And this is where I think, you guys come in because I'm really at the point now where I just don't think we can Henry Ford credit. I don't, like everybody has tried, they've
yeah.
tried, and they've tried with these automated underwriting models. And what I'm seeing on the other side of that is just, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what you guys are doing is actually assessing credit worthiness.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that the lending industry has gotten far away from that. But tell me what you think about that.
That's a great point. Because so I went to a mortgage AI conference of month and a half ago, and as far as on the origination side, what they were saying they're using it for, and I agree with it to a point, but they're using it for helping people fill out the documents.
Mhm.
So like the 1003 application. So
Right.
they send it, they've got this little chat bot person that says, now I need this, now I need that. And then they send in all the documents and everything else. I think that's a great use for it because once that's all done, now they send it to a human who can fill in the
Mhm.
blanks and say,
Right.
okay, this is why this is a good deal or not a good deal for this borrower
Right.
because, and all
Right.
the extra things that a computer is not going to be able to analyze properly.
Right.
So and if it goes that direction, I think that can increase efficiency a lot. But again, it always comes back to that human that has to make that final decision. It
100%.
should, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah,
Absolutely, because what if, like, so AI, so firstly, it won't be able to say, oh, that's a fake paycheck stub. Like,
right.
like we do smudge tests. Like you have to do physical things sometimes to, and then also it's easy to hallucinate. Oh, he
Yeah,
works at General Electric and makes $500,000.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and again, I think limited use cases where you have an awesome model, but guys, what it takes to keep those models, those large language models running, they get off the rails at a second's notice because the more input comes in, the more their brains just start to fritz out and
Yeah.
more training that is required.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to keep these things running.
Yeah.
And I tried all that stuff, Nate. I was building a
Mm.
underwriting tool. I was building a document gathering. I mean, I've got a product graveyard you would not believe because I wanted the efficiency.